Now, this guy is not the average CEO or executive. The way we came to be in the same place at the same time was I was sending his customer support a random ticket about something, and then he followed up with an answer. So that by itself kind of caught me off guard. And I was like, hold up, this is like the CEO, the founder of the company that's responding. So I did a little research, looked into his background, and I said, what the hell do I have to lose? Let me reach out to this guy and see if I can get him on the show. And sure as hell, he accepted it. And here he is, man. I mean, so why don't you give our guests a little bit of a...
Absolutely. Thanks so much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to be on a podcast and being able to not only talk about your background, but trying to find out how you can help other entrepreneurs that are just like you, founders, small business owners, and how, what I am about to share will add value to your life. So I'm definitely looking forward to making sure that that's true. My background started very young. I would say I started my first endeavor into the entrepreneurial and journey back when I was 16, 17 with an ad network. Then subsequently came to New York, ended up convincing the dean of the university I went to give me 1 year of enough full ride. Enough scholarships and grants to cover the first year, and then he ended up giving me more for the next 2 years as well. But while running that, I had to, obviously pay the bills. I was living off $900 a month in a budget. So I ended up launching an agency that focused on social media marketing. And by way of that, being a small business, working with clients in Europe and even here in New York, quickly figured out that collaborating with other individuals is not streamlined or intuitive or creative at all. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up raising about a little under 100K to build out an MVP from some very notable angel investors here in New York, including the first investors in Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, and whatnot. And then quickly raised another 900K or so by the end of my senior year, so in total about $1 million. And what we were building is essentially, if you can imagine, a Microsoft project combined with Iron Man, where you can actually navigate, and see people who are working on your project. You can, pinch them together. You can swipe files to people. You can, drag people into projects. It was very intuitive, visual software, almost like moving chess pieces on a board. Unfortunately, we were too early for our own good. We figured out that touchscreens, we were expecting touchscreens would become bigger and cheaper, which they did 2 years after we ran out of cash. And so that was my first, one of my first experiences of failure and learning from, building a venture-backed company, the things you should be focusing on versus not. How do you build a streamlined engineering team versus not, building a product, an MVP, and getting it out the door in the customer's hands, versus trying to nitpick all the fine details and, trying to perfect everything.